Hello everyone. Today let us learn about variables, expressions and statements from module 1 and chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 1, Introduction to Python Programming Language. So what is Python programming language? So it is a very popular programming language. It was created by Geordo van Rossum and released in 1991. It is used for web development, software development, mathematics, system scripting. So what can a Python do? So it can be used on a server to create web applications. It can be used alongside software to create workflows. So it can connect to database systems. It can also read and modify files. It can be used to handle big data and perform complex mathematics. Why Python is required? So how different is Python from other programming languages, and what are the advantages that Python has over other languages? So why Python is required? Because it works on different platforms like Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Raspberry Pi, etc. Also, it has a very simple syntax like English language. So it has a syntax that allows developers to write programs with very few lines. Also, it runs on an interpreter system. So what does it mean? It means that the code can be executed as soon as it is written. So it can be treated in a procedural way, an object-oriented way, or a functional way. So we'll start with the chapter 2, that is variables, expressions, and statements. So these are the subtopics that come under this chapter 2. The first one is values and types. So what is a value? A value is one of the basic things a program works with, like a letter or a number. So here you can see. So I use the print statement, and within the print statement I give an integer, that is 4. So when I execute the statement, so you can see here the output 4, the integer 4 being printed. So that is the value. So that is a basic thing of program works with, like a letter or a number. So some more examples for values. So here you can see. So when I type hello world, so this is about another example, hello world. So here you can see this hello world is of type string. So when I want to check what the data type of these words or characters are, so then I can use this keyword called as type. So, and by using this keyword type, so parenthesis, and within the parenthesis, so with a single quotes and the characters or the words ending with a single quotes and a parenthesis. So when I execute this statement, so here I get the answer as this is a string data type, because it is only characters, that is the alphabets. And also here is another example. So you can see when I use this keyword type, so what does this keyword type gives me? So it gives the type of the data that is used. So here I have number 17 within the type, within the parenthesis. So for integers, the single quotes are not required. So when I type of this particular integer, so when I execute this statement, so I get the class as int. So that means this particular number is of type integer. So similarly here you can see another example, 3.2. So this is of the type float type. So when I use the keyword type within the parenthesis, I give this decimal number, that is 3.2. So I get the answer as float data type. So same way you can see here the difference between this statement and this statement. So I have given the integer 17 without single quotes. So here I have given the integer 17 with single quotes. So what does Python interpret this as? So anything within a single quotes will be considered as a string type. So when I execute this statement, so I get the answer as class string. So this particular number is a string type because I have enclosed it within a single quotes. So similarly, the floating point numbers also enclosed within a single quotes will give me the answer string. Coming to the next topic, that is variables. So what are variables? So variables are the values that keep changing. So whose value keeps on changing. So that is nothing but a variable. So an assignment statement creates new variables and gives them values. So here I have different examples of variables. The first example is, here you can see message. So this is a variable name. So we can give whatever the variable name, but there are certain rules to follow for variables. So we will see it in the next slide, what are the rules to be followed for the variable names. So here you can see within single quotes, I have given a sentence. So that means this is the value for the variable message. So here I have another variable, that is n, which holds the value number 17. That is the integer type. So this is the integer variable. This is the string variable. So here I have the value of pi, that is 3.1415926. So this is a floating point variable. So the variable name is pi and it holds a floating point value. So to display a value of the variable, you can use a print statement. So print n. So when I give the variable name as n, so it returns with the answer 17. And similarly, print pi. So it also returns the answer with floating point value, that is 3.141596. The pi value will be returned as the output. So the type of a variable is the type of value it refers to. So in the earlier slides also we have seen the examples of type using the word keyword type. So message, so it returns, it is as a string type. So for n, so because n holds integer value, so the type is integer, it is int. Pi holds the floating point value, so that is why the answer is float, class float. Next topic is variable names and keywords. They can contain both letters and numbers. So these are the rules for defining a variable name. So what are the rules to be followed when you are giving a variable name? So they can contain both letters and numbers, but the variable names cannot start with a number. So it is legal to use uppercase letters, but it is a good idea to begin variable names with a lowercase letter. The underscore character can appear in a name. It is often used in names with multiple words such as my name or airspeed of unladen swan. So you can give the variables using these type of examples. So variable names can start with an underscore character. So here we have some of the examples of variables which are legal and which are illegal. So which are valid and invalid. So here you can see the variable name cannot start with a number. So this is invalid variable name syntax. And also we cannot have symbols here. So this is again an invalid, this one. So here you can see class. So class is a keyword. We cannot use class as a variable name. So these are the examples of valid variable names and invalid variable names. Moving to the next topic, that is statements. A statement is a unit of code that Python interpreter can execute. So here you can see I have three statements in this particular program, in this script. So the first statement is print 1. The second statement is an assignment statement where x holds the value 2. And the third statement is again a print statement, print x. So when I execute these statements, so I get the answer as 1 and 2. Next topic, operators and operands. So operators are special symbols that represent computations like addition and multiplication. The values the operator is applied to are called operands. So here you can see the operators plus, minus, multiplication, division, and the power symbol. So that is represented by two star symbols. Perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and exponentiation. So these are some of the examples of using the operators and operands. So here you can see the first example, that is 20 plus 32. So here the operator is plus operator. The operands are 20 and 32. So in the next example, you can see hover is the operand, multiplication. So sorry, subtraction symbol is the operator here, and one is an operand. So in the third example, we have two operators. One is the multiplication symbol and the plus symbol, and with three operands, hour, 60, and minute. In the fourth example, division is the operator, minute is the operand, and 60 is the operand. So fifth example is the exponentiation operator. So that is, the meaning of this statement is 5 power 2. So it is written as 5 power 2. So in programming languages, it is represented with 2 stars. So this represents 5 square. So these are some of the examples of operators and operands. Next topic is 2.6, that is expressions. An expression is a combination of values, variables, and operators. A value all by itself is considered as an expression, so is a variable. So the following are legal expressions. So what is an expression? So it is a combination of operators, operands, values, variables. So we have all these combinations that make up an expression. So here you can see an example, 17 and x plus 17 makes an expression because it is a combination of operators and operands and values. So if you type an expression in the interactive mode, so you can see here it gives 1 plus 1. So when I type 1 plus 1, so it gives me the answer 2. So this is an expression because so it has values, operators, and values as operands. So that way it gives me the answer 2. Next topic is order of operations. So order of operations is nothing but the priority of the operations. So which particular operator has to be executed first? So that is nothing but the priority. So we will be seeing which operator will get first priority, the next priority, next priority. So that is nothing but the order of operations. So here we have the acronym, that is PMDAS. So P stands for parenthesis. So first, so if in an expression, if you have a parenthesis or a bracket operator, so the expression within the bracket has to be executed, computed first. So next is E, that is exponentiation. So if in your expression you have any exponentiation operator, so this has the next priority. So next comes the multiplication and division. They have the same precedence, but they are having precedence higher than addition and subtraction. So A and S stand for addition and subtraction. M and D stands for multiplication and division. So here you can see an expression here. So in this example, all the bracket expressions will be computed first. So then comes the exponentiation, which has the second priority. And next is the multiplication and division. And the last priority will go to addition and subtraction. So this is the order of operations. So you can remember using this acronym called as PMDAS, so which stands for parenthesis, exponentiation, multiplication, division, addition and subtraction. Multiplication and division have the same precedence, which is higher than the addition and subtraction. So here are some of the examples. So 2 star 3 minus 1 is not 5 because, so 3 minus 1, 2 cannot be executed first. First the expression 2 into 3 has to be executed. So the answer for this particular expression is 4. So it will be 2 into 3, 6, 6 minus 1 is 5 and not 4. So it is not the answer 4 because 3 minus 1 will give me 2. So 2 into 2, 4. So that will not be the answer. So first multiplication has to be executed. So it will be 2 into 3, 6 minus 1, that is 5. The answer is 5. So similarly, in this particular example, you can see division has the higher priority than the plus operator. So the answer will be 4 by 2. That is 2 plus 6. That will be the answer 8 and not 5. So operators with the same precedence are evaluated from left to right. So here you can see we have the operators, only subtraction operators are there in this expression. So it will be evaluated from left to right. So these are the examples for order of operations. Next topic is modulus operator. The modulus operator works on integers and yields the remainder when the first operand is divided by the second. In Python, modulus operator is a percentage sign. So it is represented by a percentage sign. So here you can see. So here we have an example. So this particular operator is called as the floor operator. So that is with 2 forward slashes. So what does it give? So it gives the, it removes the decimal part and it gives only the absolute part. So remainder is represented by the modulus operator, that is the percentage sign. Next topic is string operations. The plus operator works with strings, but it is not addition in mathematical sense. So this plus operator, it is used to concatenate or combine two strings. So this plus operator does not do any addition with strings. It only combines the first string and second string, or it only concatenates two sentences. So here we have the example. So I have a variable called as first and a variable called as second. So variable first holds the value 10 and variable second holds the value 15. So when I print first plus second, so this gives me 25. So because this does the addition of the values, not the strings. So because this 10 is represented as an integer, so there is no single quotes for this 10. So that is why it is not as a string, but it is an integer. So that is why it is the normal addition, that is plus addition is normal. The plus operator here used is normal addition. So that is why the answer which we get here is 25. So whereas you can see in the second example, I have the variable first, which holds the value 100, but with single quotes. So this is not exactly the value 100, but it is a string. So also the second variable, that is 150. So here again 150 is represented in single quotes, which is a string. So when I print first plus second, so I get 100 and 150 combined together. So, but I don't get the answer 250 because this is represented in string. Next topic is asking the user for input. So here in Python, we have the option of asking the user from the input. So user can enter the input using the keyboard. So here asking the user for input can be done using the keyword input. So sometimes we would like to take the value for a variable from the user via their keyboard. So Python provides a built-in function called input that gets input from the keyboard. So when this function is called, the program stops and waits for the user to type something. When the user presses return or enter, the program resumes and input returns what the user typed as a string. So here we have an example of asking the user the input. So I have a variable called as name. So here I'm using the keyword input and I am prompting the question within the input as what is your name. So when I execute this particular statement, so the shell asks me with a question that is what is your name. So when the user types Chuck and when I print this particular variable that is name, so I get the answer as Chuck. The sequence has /n at the end of the prompt which represents a new line, so which is a special character which causes a line break. So if you expect the user to type an integer, you can try to convert the return value to int using the int function. So here you can see an example. So this is my variable name, that is prompt. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? So speed is input prompt. So input is the keyword asking the user. So user has to enter the value. What is, so once when I execute this particular statement, the shell asks me a question. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? So when the user types 17 and prints, so int speed, so it returns 22. So when you want to convert that into the int function, so int speed plus 5, you can see it will be returned as 17 plus 5, that is 22. So, but if the user types something other than a string of digits, you get an error. So because we have created that int as the int function, so other than any integer types, if we type any string types, so then we get an error. So here you can see we have an example, speed input prompt. So what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? This Python shell is asking the question, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? So here the user has to enter only the integer values. So other than integer values, so if suppose if we type something like this, so a string or a sentence, so then we get an error. So the input should be int with base 10. So that is the error. Next topic is comments. So comments in Python look like this. So single line comment. So starts with hash. So if you want to comment a single line, so it can be done by using this hash. So if you want to comment multiple lines, it can be done by using 3 stars. Next topic is choosing mnemonic variable names. So here I have 3 examples. For the example is converting the hours into rate, computing the pay for a particular labor worker. So here I have the variable hours, so which holds the value 35. So that means 35 hours of work, and rate is 12.50 dollars per hour. So when I compute pay, that is hours into rate, I get pay. So instead of using all these names like hours, rate, pay, so if I use A, B, C or any gibberish uh, values or gibberish names like this, so it is a little bit confusing. So that is why we are supposed to use this proper mnemonic names instead of some gibberish names. Thank you.